Association here at SARA TV for the Sim Marketing Solutions Super Series at Stafford Motor Speedway for the Salty Hookz 150. This is the 2018 fall season here at the Sim Auto Racing Association, and this is our first week for the broadcast here, where the guys will be doing 150 laps around this half-mile flat Stafford Motor Speedway. Currently, the guys are out on track running their last final practice laps, trying to get these cars dialed in for tonight's race. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and talk about last week. We weren't able to broadcast the race last week due to scheduling conflicts, but if you were able to join up and just watch as a spectator, you've seen that Logan Clampett came away with the win, leading 48 laps. His second career SARA win. He started 8th. Jimmy Mullish finished 2nd. Samuel Roush finished 3rd. Joe Schaefer Jr. 4th. And Ty Spearman rounded out your top 5. Justin Trombley was your pole winner that night, and the hard charger was David Kokorian. Now, last night in the Contender Series, there was two splits during that race at Stafford, and had a couple guys come away with the win there last night. And unfortunately, I don't have them pulled up on the screen here. But on last week at USA, they raced before the Super guys here on the Super Series. Alex McCollum, Logan Clampett, and Justin LeDuc. There's 3 splits in that. There's close to 60 cars for that week. Last night, there was right around 50 plus that showed up. So if you're interested in joining, it's still early in the season as we're in week 2. You can go to racesara.com and race in the Davis Chassis Works Contender Series. Like I said, we're here tonight for the Salty Hookz 150. New sponsor on board with the Sim Auto Racing Association this year, and this guy that is sponsoring tonight's race, you'll be out here racing with these guys. And he joined me in the booth once before. He's currently P1 on the practice boards at that. And, I call him the old Wily Vet, and Ty Spearman. We'll go ahead and see if we can get a quick word with him so we can talk about the Salty Hookz and what that means. Ty, thanks for taking a little moment of your time to join me up here in the booth before you get out on track here tonight. You hopped on board as a sponsor here with the Sim Auto Racing Association this year, and we greatly appreciate you doing that with Salty Hookz. We understand Salty Hookz is a YouTube channel dedicated to your fishing excursions, and along with a few other surprises. So why don't you tell us just a little bit more about that?
So basically what I wanted to do was create a channel where people who have love of fishing, whether it be saltwater or freshwater, can go to. They can see kind of what I fish, where I fish, how I fish, maybe pick up a few pointers, maybe pick up a few things they don't need to pick up, because sometimes I absolutely suck at fishing. But anyway, but I'm going to be honest with you, one of the main reasons that I created that channel is because, let's face it, social media is basically forever. And I would love to look back 13 years from now at my YouTube channel and look at my first videos and see me fishing with my wife from 13 years ago and my little princess from 13 years ago. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to really document my time here in Pensacola, Florida, since we just moved here. It's been a great little channel. It's been a challenge, editing videos and finding content, and a lot of I want to provide more than just fishing, and I've created some cooking videos, etc. Even a little bit of hurricane coverage when the hurricane came through earlier this year. So, or maybe it was Tropical Storm Gordon. So yeah, I mean, that's really all it is. I've got a Facebook page, Salty Hookz, that is with a Z instead of an S for Hookz. And of course, you can certainly search and like and subscribe on my page on YouTube. Just search for Salty Hookz.
Yeah, I've done both myself, and I've checked out a couple videos, and it does look like fun. I'm very envious since I'm not able to do that where I'm located at, as a bunch of us probably are not located in the region that you are. unfortunately. But thank you for coming on board here with us for this year. Stafford's one of your favorite tracks, if I'm not mistaken. That's why you're sponsoring tonight's race, and you're currently P1 on the practice board. You're fast in qualifying practice as well, and unfortunately you didn't come away with the lap that you wanted to. But what do you think you have in store for here tonight for tonight's race?
Tonight, I really think that what most people wanted last night, they wanted a long green flag run. Really, last night is certainly the race that I was the admin. We didn't have a lot of long green flag runs. I think that's what you need here if you've got your car set up right. And if you remember even last year, regardless of the car build, I ran a crazy line here last year, which I'm kind of looking forward to trying it again this year because it really worked, or this season. So I want long green flag runs. I want the track to get slick, and I want it to get very, very hot. So I'm hoping that the setup that we've got will be kind of close to what we had last year. Me and Joe both did very well here last year, with me winning and Joe coming in second, and we had really, really good cars. But listen, this league is top notch. Anyone in this field could win this race.
That's certainly the truth, as qualifying was, any indication of that. From 1st to 25th was only a tenth and a half, which is crazy for an open setup league. So you're absolutely right. There's a ton of speed in these, in this field here tonight. As you stated, you did run a different line last season, and this season I think the aprons opened up a little bit now with the reduced power in these cars. A little bit changes as well as in the suspension geometries helped out with a little bit drive off on these. So you may see them all the way to the grass and all the way up, maybe even a couple of lanes, compared to even what it was last season. But good luck to you here tonight. And like I said, once again, thanks for coming on board with us. And you're more than welcome to come up in the booth. Hopefully you never do. Hopefully the only time we bring you into the booth is either talk about your sponsorship or it's because you finished on the boxes tonight. So hopefully that's where we speak to you next.
Sounds good. I got my work cut out for me tonight.
All right, bud. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, it's Ty Spearman. Like I said, the old Wiley vet. You got to keep an eye out for him. He downplays a lot of the stuff. Obviously, he's super quick, and that whole posse group is super quick, especially around Stafford. They got their teammate there in Ty Majeski, who's undefeated here in any car. So he obviously knows how to get around this joint, give them a few tips or a few setup help, and they get around here pretty good. We'll go ahead and bring in our league admin and Matt Rolfe, and get him to talk about this 2018 fall season for the Sim Auto Racing Association. There's a couple changes on Monday nights and Tuesday nights, which I'll get into here a little bit later. But Matt, we just got talking to Ty Spearman. He just hopped on board with Salty Hookz. There's a lot of new sponsors here with the Sim Auto Racing Association, and it's exciting things that are happening this season.
Yeah, we're obviously excited to get another season underway here. It actually started last week, but this is the first week broadcasting, so happy to bring the racing back to SARA TV this week. Like you said, we got a lot of new things going on, a couple new sponsors jumping on board, guys that have been in the league, but now they're wanting to sponsor, and a lot of things going on this season. Later on as well, we got the Fall Brawl, the H&H Sign and Supply Fall Brawl later this season as well. We're happy to have Sim Marketing Solutions back on board, the Super Series. A lot of different moving parts, but it's all coming together here, and we're ready to get things going.
Yeah, we just going to talking to Ty a little bit about how well the posse ran here last year. Now we are in a new build with these cars, so there's not a lot of things that transferred over. Some of it did. We were talking just prior to the cast coming on about how we think that the apron can really come into play here for this season, as it has in seasons prior outside of last season due to the car build. So what's your plan of attack here tonight? Are you going to just run the traditional around here, or are you going to be just bottom feeding the whole way?
Well, normally I like to bottom feed around here. A lot of guys run the normal groove, and as I can already see here, the track time's kind of getting up there a little bit already in practice. So if we get some long runs, that normal groove that you see people running early on, it's not going to work quite so well as the run goes on. So you might see guys move up a little bit. I'm one of the ones that likes to try to run the apron more. There's more grip down there for me personally. But like you said, not a whole lot from the old setups transferred over to this season. So we're actually struggling a little bit on the apron, just trying to find grip, drive off, stuff like that. So it's really going to come down to who can keep that forward drive all race long, whether they have to move up or down, or even if they can find it in the normal groove when it heats up, it's going to make all the difference. And I think that's who's going to win the race, is whoever has the most drive off for 150 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like you said, it's 150 laps here. The Contender Series race last night was 150 laps as well. The track got pretty hot there from my understanding. So, with these guys out here that, top-notch guys from first to last here on the grid, hopefully to get a lot of green flag racing for everyone that's watching here tonight, and for y'all to put on a good show. Now, before we get you on your way, get a few more practice laps in, is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give?
I just got to thank you guys for doing this once again this season for SARA TV. As always, thank the sponsors, SAM Marketing Solutions, for the title sponsor of the series once again this season. They're a big help. Salty Hookz, Ty Spearman for coming on board for tonight's race, and all the other sponsors that you'll mention or already mentioned at some point. Can't do all this without them, so big thanks to all the sponsors.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and get them pulled up here as soon as we get you on your way. And good luck here tonight. And with any luck, and if you're able to work your way up through the field, maybe we'll talk to you by the end of the night.
All right, we'll see you then.
All right, bud. That's our league admin, Matt Rolfe. And he's starting a little bit further back in the pack than he wants to. He actually had to take a provisional, unfortunately, because he messed up on his Q lap just a little bit. But if anybody can make it to the front, it's definitely that guy. Like I said, we'll go ahead and bring up our series sponsors. We got some new ones on board. And, some of the ones coming back from the past as well that's hanging around here with us, and we appreciate that. We got the SAM Marketing Solutions, who is the title sponsor for tonight's series for the invite-only Super Late Model Series. And the SAM Marketing Solutions introduces real-world sponsors to sim racers, and they work with them to ensure that they receive maximum benefit for their exposure to the sim racing community. So definitely go hit those guys up. They do a lot for us. They do a lot for the drivers. In here you'll see them sponsoring some drivers and, some guys there on the pro side of things as well. So definitely go hit those guys up. They do some great work. Got H&H Sign Supply, Davis Chassis Works, who sponsors our Wednesday night Contender Series. Hides Pride Leather and Sheepskin, which they're doing the Hides Pride head-to-head throwdown once again, where basically a random row on the grid is selected before the race, and the driver in that row that finishes higher than the other one will win some extra prize money, and that row will be row 4, and that's Dallas Pataska and Ron Doucette, so we'll have to keep an eye on those two guys. As right now, Dallas Pataska is a little bit faster in practice than Doucette, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. Got Midwest Power Source, Callaway Investments, who's part of our modified series, which we switched over on Tuesday night to the Tour mods. And so we appreciate them still staying on board for our Tuesday night series. Race1.us, who is the series sponsor for our Dirt Night, which is presented by JB Trucking, which are a sponsor on here as well. Come on out to your Monday night fixed street stock Dirt Series. It's a blast, heat racing. You don't have to worry about anything. You just show up and run. And we've had a huge turnout for that and tons of fun. Just pretty much a fun night. Got Salty Hookz, who's the sponsor here tonight, so thanks again, Ty, for doing that. The Hub Used Sim Racing Giveaways. They got some cool giveaway stuff for used sim racing stuff, and some pretty good gets on there for sure. Shifters, wheels, pedals, and anything else you can think of. Harding Motorsport Supply, Canfield Auto Body, so we got JB Trucking, and RBRC, Russell Brown Race Cars. Those are our sponsors for this season. Like I said, thank you to those guys for doing that. And without them, we couldn't do that. Couldn't put up some prize money and everything else that goes along with this that creates SARA TV, the Sim Auto Racing Association as a whole, and of course the Sim Marketing Solutions Super Series that you're watching here tonight. These guys are wrapping up practice here, about to grid up. We will pull up that grid here momentarily as soon as they do that. They get on board. Yep, go ahead and pull up the grid here and we'll go through it. Starting on the pole here tonight, due to the 9-car invert, is DK David Kokorian. On the outside of him in the 19 car is Connor Blaze. Returning to the Sim Auto Racing Association is Cody Kelly, and if anybody's raced with that guy, everybody knows that he is fast and one to keep an eye out for. So we'll see what he does here tonight. And starting fourth is Tim Bills in 37 car. Joe Schaefer Jr., who is won the championship there last year, starting fifth. On the outside of him, the guy that contended with him is Jimmy Mullis. Dallas Pataska, who's been fast so far this early on this season, starting seventh. On the outside of him is Ron Doucette. Like I said, that's the row for the Hides Pride head-to-head showdown. 38 cars, Michael Goddard starting ninth. Starting 10th is Logan Clampett, who won week 1, and he got the the winner's provisional. Starting 10th here. He's been fast. We'll see how he's able to work his way through the field. Starting 11th is Brandon Wilkinson, who won last night in the Contender Series, and on the outside of him is Dr. Noise himself, Bill Martin. Jim Caudell Jr., who was one of the big 3 in last season, is starting 13th. On the outside of him in the 60 cars, Keith Medeiros. Colin Allman and Chris Canfield starting 15th, 16th. Ryan Matthews is 17th with Zach Novak, who just won the Ignite Series. So congratulations to him, starting 18th. Trevor Edwards is starting 19th. Ty Spearman, who's, like I said, didn't have the qualifying run that he wanted. Said he messed up there a little bit. And he's starting 20th, sponsoring tonight's race. A.J. Rogers just got bad luck all around him. Let's see if he can turn it around here tonight and get a good run here, starting 21st. On the outside of him is the 18 car of Donald Clark. Adam Biddlefield, Tyler Brown's 23rd, 24th. Tyler Breeding and Brian Helms, 25th, 26th. Kyle Souza and Drew Kryback, 27th, 28th. Demi Roush and Matt Rolfe in 29th and 30th. That's going to round out your grid here, as the pace car should be pulling off here momentarily. It will be on the leader, David Kokorian, to bring him down to the green flag. We are green, green, green. David Kokorian gets off to a great start. Cody Kelly's going to file in just behind him into second, and 19 car of Connor Blaze. We'll round out your top 3 here early on. You're going to see guys try to get down to the bottom as quickly as they can, as that is where the grip is here early on. But as we spoke with Matt Rolfe and with Ty Spearman, get some green flag runs, that line will move up, or it could even move down. So we'll see how all this ends up playing out here just a little bit. Go back here to Tim Bills in P6. He's side by side currently with Dallas Pataska. Got Jimmy Mullis in just behind them in the 40 car. See Bills hanging on pretty tough on the outside. It's not quite there yet, but he's not slow either up there. You see one bouncing off the wall there. It looks like it was Jim Caudell in the 1 car back here in 14th. He didn't bounce off the wall. He was extremely close in doing so. Him and Ryan Matthews in the 51 are side by side. Either side by side as Jim Caudell has a little damage to the left front. So not too sure how he got that, but he falls in line right there in front of Ty Spearman. And what we didn't see here tonight, and what we seen last night, and you can chalk it up to the experience in these guys, is there's a lot of wrecks early on, especially getting into 1 in last night's Contender Series race. And Jim Caudell and Brendan Wilkinson get sideways. Wilkinson looks like he's going to save it. Still not out of the woods yet. Spearman moves him up just a little bit, but it looks like he's got it going straight here, and he's okay. Definitely got all crossed up out of 4 after him and Jim Caudell Jr. had just a little bit of contact. Oh, looks Michael Goddard just spun here just a little bit. Backed up. Looks like Colin Allman got caught up in that there as well. Go ahead and watch this back on the SARA TV instant replay. Goddard's got Logan Clampett, who won last week there, right behind him as they go down into turn 1. Clampett gets into the rear of him, turns him sideways. Bill Martin gets into it. Logan Clampett gets into it. And it's like, unfortunately, Colin Allman got caught up into it as well. And that's where the majority of the wrecks have been happening. It is into 1. You got some guys that are really backing up that turn. You got other ones that are really charging it. And that's exactly what you see there. We'll end up seeing if Logan ends up claiming that caution as the Sim Auto Racing Association, if you're new here to us. We have a gentleman's rule where basically drivers are encouraged to claim fault for any cautions they may cause. We'll be given an EOL, which is the end of line penalty during the race. Now, if you do not claim it and the race admins go back and review it and deem that you were at fault, you will get an EOL in the results. It's always best to go ahead and claim that there. We got a quick caution here on lap 9 of 150. And like I said, it's our first caution there of the night. No lead changes as DK was leading the way there. See what kind of restart he gets off to here. They go back to green. So that's going to make it where everyone is going to be wanting to feed down to the bottom there once again. Try to get down to the inside as much as they can. Like Logan Clampett went to pit road there. Yeah, he's coming back out. He's getting some of that damage fixed. As once they come back around here, they should be going back to 1 to go. And like I said, Logan Clampett won last week. Jimmy Mullis was second. Tommy Roush was third. Joe Schaefer Jr. and Ty Spearman round out your top 5. So it's still early on for points, for any points implications. Well, we still haven't got 1 to go. See if we get it here. As we do, coming to 1 to go finally. Be nice whenever iRacing can get that quickie caution implemented on the pavement side of things. It works really well in the dirt. I understand we got to get some, the pavement's a little bit different. You can get some damage and stuff fixed, but they can at least cut out a pace lap, if you ask me. But I'm no one but a stupid announcer. So we'll see what David Krikorian does here. Cody Kelly's going to be just on the outside of him. Those guys are teammates, so I'm sure they're going to be on the same clock when they go. You're going to see Cody Kelly try to fill that spot just behind DK. So back to green, green, green. That's exactly what's going to happen here, most likely. Kelly's going to stay up just a little bit. He's going to get the drive out of turn 2 here, and he's going to have the inside line. Just behind them, Connor Blaze and Joe Schaefer Jr. are going to battle out for third as Schaefer Jr. throws it in to turn 3. And his Performance Parts Supply Toyota Camry. He's going to have the spot coming out of 4. Throws it into turn 1. He's going to take the spot up to P3 as Joe Schaefer Jr. blazes back to 4th. Dallas Pataska is now side by side with Jimmy Mullis there for 5th place. Mullis finally got that spot. Tim Bills is going to come up now, battle Connor Blaze, or excuse me, not Connor Blaze, but Dallas Pataska in the 57 car. Right now, you're going to want to be at the bottom. The top side's just not there. We need some more green flag runs as the track temperature's up to 86 degrees. The air temp's at 71. Partly cloudy here this afternoon. Or they get some laps going here, that track temp's going to go up. Cars are going to slip and slide around. Right now, the grip's pretty optimum. Like I said, it's 150 laps here tonight. There's no extra tires. So you're on what you're on for the whole night as far as tires go. It's open setup, no fast resets. So that's why you see a lot of guys giving everyone a bunch of room, because they know pretty much what they have out there is what they have out there, and you got to go in and get some damage fixed and stuff. You can do that. You can add fuel. If that car goes up in the air at all, whether you took tires or not, you'll get a penalty. Tim Bills is now making his way up around Connor Blaze. Finally making his way up to the top 5. Apparently you have David Krikorian and Cody Kelly kind of pulled away a little bit from Joe Schaefer Jr. They're up about a half second or so over him. Blaze is still stuck on the outside here in the 19 car. Going to want to get down low as they're single file cameras behind him. Looks like he may get a shot here. Now Pataska's going to show the nose. Still going to show it. Just in your view there, you might be able to see that whole string of cars. As it does have a green flag feel to it here. Like I said, everyone's kind of a little, not necessarily strung out. They're just single file. It's lap 21 and 150, so a long way to go. I don't think anyone's really fighting too hard outside of Connor Blaze because he's just trying to hold his position. Track position is everything, as we stated with the qualifying, how close it was with a 10th and a half from first to 25th. And, you know, you can make some passes, this is for sure. Oh, as they make a little contact going down into 3 and 4. See if Dallas still throws it, which he does. He still gets down into turn 1. He clips the apron a little bit, which can help help the car turn a little bit. Doesn't have enough momentum. Connor Blaze fought him off. So kudos to Connor Blaze. He's going to end up keeping 8th place. Go back here to the 03 car. Chris Canfield, him and Keith Medeiros. Now you got Trevor Edwards is going to come in there. Trevor Edwards' car looks pretty good in the black and blue car that he has for the Sim Marketing Solutions. Chevrolet Camaro that he has there. Those guys were side by side. They're fighting for a top 15 as Canfield takes a slide through the infield. What a hell of a save that he had going on there. They're going to be 3 wide coming off the turn. He's got a little goose going down into turn 1. He saved it. We'll see how the car's going to be pretty upset here right now. He's probably got those tires on fire. He's going to probably need another lap or so to get them cooled back down. But a hell of a save there by Chris Canfield. We're going to need a caution from coming out. But it did stack up a bunch of these cars. Now you got Colin Ullman inside Tyler Breeding there in the 25 car. Oh, and they make contact. They're sliding down to the infield. There's no caution still. They're still flying through the infield. And the Breeding comes back up the track, and I cannot believe that there was no one else caught up in that wreck. That was simply amazing to watch, that they go sliding down through the infield. And I'm not too sure if they were on the brakes or not, or if I'm sure Breeding was. Breeding was on every pedal that he can get on. We'll go ahead and watch this on the SARA TV instant replay in 30 seconds. We just get into it, and it looks like that Colin Ullman got into the door of Breeding. And, yeah, I mean, just pushed him straight through the grass and everything back up to through the track. And if he didn't have triples there, he probably had no clue that was going on. That was wild to watch. Be interesting to see if anybody claims it. I know it looked like Breeding may have been a little bit further away from the wall than maybe what Colin was expecting. Hard to say what exactly happened without going back to the replay and just really slowing it down and watching it in multiple angles. It's hard racing, especially here. Gets tight out of 4. And they just went flying down through the infield. That's our second caution here tonight. We're on lap 29 and 150. A long way to go. David Kokorian still your leader with Cody Kelly, excuse me. And in second, Joe Schaefer Jr. In third, Jimmy Moss fourth, and Tim Bills round out your top 5. That was wild. Now I know that in practice, I go flying through the infield just goofing off. And the car did slide through there pretty good. But both those guys, with the amount of speed that they were carrying coming out of 4, I can imagine that they were probably on the binders. It just wasn't slowing down. Especially hung together like they were. Yeah, these cars have been known to, to get airborne sometimes, especially go flying across the field like that. Some other sim glitches, and he could have flown right over those guys, flipped over them. Like I said, I'm surprised it didn't collect anyone else. That's heads-up driving by the field. Now we do have an in-race reporter here tonight. We may get a hold of him here a little bit later. He's been really wanting to, to speak with us over the broadcast. Mainly why it's under green. He didn't say that, but that's when we're going to get him. Under caution's boring. So I'm going to get Adam Benefield here, and not right now in the 83 car, but we'll see if we can maybe get him pulled in here somehow, one way, shape, or form. Pace car pulls off. We're going to go back to green here. It's on David Krikorian once again. We'll see what Joe Schaefer Jr. if he can get off to a good restart, which I think he forgot where the gas pedal was. You see Kelly could go down in there into turn 2 and get his spot. See if Jimmy Mullis has anything for Joe Schaefer Jr. on the outside. Side by side, but down the backstretch as they go into 3. Schaefer's going to finally get that. Tim Bills is going to want to fill that spot and get right next to Jimmy Mullis. He's not able to do it. Since he's not, now he's got Bill Martin on the outside of him. Track temperature still up pretty good at 88 degrees. That outside may be starting to come in here, even though we've had a caution there. And early on, if the tire pressure is going back down, you see Tim Bills all the way down to the apron. As we spoke to earlier, there is some grip down there, especially with this new build. This build, you can definitely do it. 2 builds ago, you 100% could have done it. And so now it's like a little happy medium. We'll see if anybody's able to make that actually work for them. In the Contender Series last night, there were some guys running on the apron all the way around and, making some moves, especially later on in the race. So it might be able to come in. Mullis is holding on pretty strong here on the outside of Joe Schaefer Jr. Sure, it's catching Joe a little bit off guard as the front two are starting to scoot away a little bit. These guys battled it out a lot last year. And here they are should I say last season? Not necessarily last year. Here they are once again doing the same thing. Not too far behind them. Who was part of our big 3 last year was Jim Caudell Jr., and he's starting to make his way up to the front of the field as well. Looks like Mullis is finally going to have Schaefer Jr. cleared as they go down into 1. I know Joe's not going to be happy about that at all. He doesn't like it when anybody passes him. Unfortunately, he's going to have to go ahead and settle back into 4th place and maybe try to follow behind Mullis, see where Mullis is a little bit better than him or vice versa, making another attempt to get up there and pass him. Ryan Matthews is under Bill Martin here for 6th. Not able to make the pass as Martin moved up the track there a little bit. He's about a half lane off the bottom as is. Most of the guys in this group. You got some other ones there just off in the back. They're hanging out there on the bottom. You see Martin now clipping the apron into 1. Help de-wedge that car and get it to rotate pretty good. Let's catch 22 as we got one spinning down the in turn 1 and 2. Not 100% sure who that was. There's no caution. I think it was Donald Clark that was spinning down there in the 18 cars. No caution, so it's an unfortunate break there for him. Gonna need another caution to catch up there to the field. These guys are single file all the way back. Pretty much all the way back here to 15, maybe even further back here now. Yeah, everyone's starting to spread out. You'll start seeing some comers and goers here now. As one guy who's making his way up through the field here I'm paying attention to is Trevor Edwards. Up to 14th place, just behind Ryan Doucette. He started a little bit further back in the field. Not mistaken. Fine. He started 19th, so he's up 5 spots. David Krikorian still leading the way. He's led all 44 laps here so far. We're about a third of the way through this race. Got his teammate right behind him the whole time, and Cody Kelly. As those 2 front guys have pulled away a little bit from Jimmy Mullis, they got about almost a second gap over 3rd place. Everyone's strung out here right now, and we'll go ahead and let's go up here with Cody Kelly. Let's see if we can hop on board here with him. He's right behind his teammate. And right on board here with him for 2 or 3 laps. See how he's getting around this joint. Go ahead and crank it up. There in front of him, get a little bit loose out of 2, and David Krikorian's using a lot more apron out of 4 than what Cody Kelly is, but Cody's using a little bit more apron in 1 and 2, so there's just a couple different ways to get around this joint for these guys right now. It honestly depends on what their car's doing, and David Krikorian pulls away from there just a little bit. That's how they're getting around it. They're pulling away from 3rd, so they still have a lot of speed. Last lap, DK was one of the faster cars in the field. Actually, Bill Martin was the fastest one with the 1985. Go back here to Bill Martin and see what he's doing to get around this joint as he's on the tail end of Tim Bills. Might be using a little bit different line as he does have a little bit higher. You see it there, he's all the way up to the 2nd lane, technically. Really diving in the corner. Getting it back down on exit, so he's able to drive off. He ran an 89 that last lap as well. He's fastest car off the track. Backs it up with the 90, so he's pretty consistent where he is, even though he's on the tail end of Bill Martin, or excuse me, Tim Bills. And he's going to go down to the inside here. Going to hook that white line, see if he has any drive off. Fortunately, he doesn't. Hurt his lap time just a little bit. But he's found some speed up there in 1 and 2, I think, mainly. Whether he knows it or not. So he may start seeing some guys moving up just a little bit, especially in 1 and 2. If they can get that drive out of the turn in 2, they can definitely make some hay. We see Joe Schaefer Jr., he went way up in no man's land. That was a little too high. Up there in the loose stuff, he's going to go ahead and just let Tim Bills and Bill Martin go. And he's going to save some of his tires here. Joe Schaefer Jr. is back to 6th place now after dropping a couple spots. See Bill Martin moving up. Gets the left sides back down the white line on the exit of 2. Good drive out of 2 down the straightaway. He's going to do the same thing here in 3 and 4. Going to get the left sides down the white line there all the way. Then when he does that, he's ran a 1986. The only other person in the 8s is your leader now at the 88. Everyone else is in the 19.9s or in the flats. So it's making a pass down the inside here on Tim Bills. Bill Martin's working his way up through the front in his camel car. You can see he's got a little bit of damage on the left front, so I don't know if it's affected, you know, the toe in or toe out on that camel, but you know, it's obviously got speed in it. So Bill Martin up to P4. Running comparable times to the leaders, sometimes even faster than the leaders. So he's got something figured out here for sure in his number 39 Camel Posse car. David Krikorian's pulled out to about a 6/10, almost 7/10 of a second lead here over Cody Kelly. And DK, like I said, he's the only other one that was running the 19.8s outside of Bill Martin. And you see him, he's really hooking it. And I think where he's getting him, and Cody's starting to do it too, is he's running on the flat part of the apron there, coming out of 4. I know me and Matt were trying to get the car to do that. You can really drive the car straight off doing that down there. And obviously there's not as much track temperature down there as well. As cars aren't running down there. A little bit more grip. And, so he's able to pull away just a little bit. We'll go back here to the 83 car, Adam Benefield, our in-race reporter. He's looking down low on Trevor Edwards. These guys are fighting side by side, and that's Benefield in the GTO car. One of the only few, if not the only one, running a Pontiac out there. Looks like he's going to finally get that spot over Edwards. Currently up to P13. Just behind them is Zach Novak and Logan Clampett. And Ryan Doucette in 77 car. Going back here through, go ahead and go through the field here. We'll start from the back, at the front. Give everyone here a little bit of shout out. We'll start with, go ahead and start with, let's see who's here on the track. That's out here. Go ahead and start with the 18 car, Donald Clark. Mox Corner, South Carolina. Carolina Contracting Solutions, Will and Dillon Motorsports, Toyota. And P25 is, P26 is Kyle Souza, number 7 car. Out of Somerset, Massachusetts, and the Bay State Sewage Columbus Energies, Kyle Souza Racing, Chevrolet SS. It's a good looking piece. Got Brian Helm in the 26 car. Brian Helm's out of Twin Falls, Idaho. Oil-bound Motorsports Chevrolet. Timing screen here is going crazy for some reason. Drew Kreinbach's in the 12 car in the Button Box Shop. Epic Media Marketing. Lit Pro Data Tracking out of Winston-Salem, Wisconsin. He's part of the Posse crew. Just in front of him is the 25 car of Tyler Breeding out of Knoxville, Tennessee. The cam signs and graphics, DMC Auto, Breeding Racing, super late model, Chevrolet Camaro. Spoke to this guy prior to the race, their league admin, and Matt Rolfe up there in 22nd position. That's out of Kona, New Hampshire, the H&H Supply Sim Marketing Solutions T4X Toyota Camry. Samuel Roush in a 13 car. Just in front of him, out of Tucson, Arizona, in the Sim Marketing Solutions Midwest Power Source Inc. Racing out of the Dynamic Autosports stable. In a 13 car, good looking piece, about the only Dodge car out there, if I'm not mistaken. Just in front of him is AJ Rogers. AJ Rogers out of Cloverdale, Virginia. Car Assurance Options, Midwest Power Source, RBRC, Ford Mustang, out of the Roughnecks stable. Chris Canfield, we've seen that guy stave the car. 13 car, or excuse me, in the 03 car. He's in 17th. Canfield's out of Derry, New Hampshire. Canfield Auto Body. Running with the LeDuc Matthews Racing crew. See him, he's getting a little pressure from AJ Rogers there. Take a small break from that. The Samuel Roush down between them. They're 3 wide. And there's Rogers cuts off the nose there of Roush. Probably caught him by surprise there just a little bit. Looks like they got everything figured out. Stay on this battle here for just a second before we move up to Ryan Doucette. Canfield goes up track just a little bit. Rogers going to fill that gap. Going to be side by side down the back. Side by side down into 3. See if Rogers is able to roll the center just a little bit better. Not able to. Canfield's able to hold him off. It looks like that top side's coming in here just a little bit. The track temperature's up to 96 degrees, so it's definitely getting slick out there, which is what some of these guys wanted, to put handling at a premium. Go ahead and move up here to the 77 car of Ryan Doucette. That's out of Framingham, Massachusetts, out of the Accelerated Motorsports Group. Doesn't have a sponsor. Someone put a sponsor on that car for him. It's in the green and black 77 car. In front of him was Trevor Edwards. Right down the road for me here, out of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, in the Midwest Power Source Sim Marketing Solutions Chevrolet Camaro. The 32 car, it's a good looking piece. Connor Blaze, the 19 car, just in front of him. Connor's not on my sheet. Now there you, Connor. Let's get that updated so I can talk about you here a little bit. Here's the car quest Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Old school look on it. Looks pretty good. 44 car. This is the guy that won last week here in the Sim Marketing Super Series. Logan Clampett. Logan is a race on the pro side there as well in the Pecan Free Series. He's out of Fruitco Canyon, California. JDR Graphics, Lockdown Racing, Chevrolet Camaro. The 83 car around in Biddlefield. We already spoke with him on in his GTO. Good looking piece that he has there as well in the pink, black, and white car. He's battling right now with Clampett on the outside. Biddlefield's out of Pell City, Alabama. And Road Speed Dynamics KR Designs, Dynamic Auto Sports Group. Looks like Clampett's going to finally get that. You see everyone's kind of moving up the track here just a little bit. Looks like the top side's starting to come in. Creating some good side-by-side racing. Up here to Novak. Now we'll go up to Wilkinson, 56 car instead. Wilkinson's out of Pawcatuck, Connecticut. Sim Marketing Solutions, Front Stretch Mafia. Sim Marketing Solutions on that car. Like I said, those guys sponsor a lot of guys here and some other leagues and official events, and series and stuff. So we appreciate them and what they do for us. Another guy that's just there in front of them, Zach Novak, just won the Ignite Series. We've seen that on Twitter or Facebook on our racing's page. Came away with $10,000 in scholarship and a bunch of other little perks. So congratulations to him on doing that. He's running pretty well here tonight, up to P12. And there's still, once again, there's a lot of good looking rides out here. Novak's out of Clinton, Connecticut. And it's simspeedshop.com, JDR Graphics, Lockdown Racing, Toyota Camry. He just got around there, and Jim Caudell Jr. Jim Caudell struggling just a little bit here tonight. Used to seeing him working his way up through the field and running up front. Caudell's out of Whitesburg, Kentucky. B&J Energy Services, Ford Fusion. Keith Meteros here in the 60 car, just in front of them. Now we're getting up into the top 10. Meteros is out of Cape Coral, Florida. Mike Woods Designs Front Stretch Mafia Group. It's Toyota Camry. Old Wiley Vet, who's sponsoring the race here tonight for the Salty Hookz 150 at Stafford Motor Speedway. Everyone there in the 92 car out of Pensacola, Florida, just moved down there, enjoying the sun, I'm sure, and the beach with the Posse Group. Dallas Pataska running P8 here in a 57 car. Pataska's out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. Have any sponsorships and stuff on the sheet here, so I'm not 100% sure what he has there on the quarter panels and hood of his car. See it? You can make it out. 51 car of Ryan Matthews out of Mechanicsville, Virginia. Guy has more sponsors he knows what to do with. S&M Auto Service, Mechanicsville Paint and Body, East Matthews Real Estate, out of Duke Matthews Racing Crew. His Ford Fusion, like I said, is up to P7. Bill Martin, who likes his throwback schemes. He's out of Madison, Wisconsin. Got the Camel Dippo on his car. Again, looks like the toe's out on that one. And a little front-end damage. It's not slowing him down. He's up to P6. He's out of Madison, Wisconsin with the Posse Group. In front of him is his Posse teammate and series champion here at the Sim Racing Association, Joe Schaefer Jr. in his 6 car. Junior's out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, a left-hander chassis Toyota Camry. 37 car, Tim Bills, P4. H&H Sign Supply, justforcrafters.com. Justin Brooks Design, Will and Dillon Motorsports, Chevrolet Camaro. We're having a good run here tonight. Will and Dillon's occupying 3 out of the top 5 spots. Getting here to the top boxes, Jimmy Mullis, P3. Mullis out of Midland, North Carolina, is JDR Graphics, Lockdown Racing, Chevrolet Camaro. Cody Kelly's returned to us here this season. Hopefully he sticks with us all season long. I know real life racing duties can get in the way sometimes. But he's out of Hartsville, South Carolina, and it's Justin Brooks Design, Will and Dillon Motorsports, Chevrolet Camaro. Currently our leader, DK David Kokorian, is coming to the lap down traffic with Kyle Sousa right now. David Kokorian's out of Los Angeles, California. He has Exalta and Elliott Realty on his car. Got a special paint scheme on here for this week. He's ran it off and on. Don't have the sponsorship on my sheet here, but he's also out of Will and Dillon Motorsports. So that's everyone that's out here tonight. You got these top guys out here running, and you know, for I rating, it ranges a little bit, but the strength of field is probably close to the 4,500 to 5,000 mark. Really steep. So you know, pretty tall, high rating, bunch of fast guys here. David Kokorian's led every lap that you've watched here so far with us tonight. And we had 2 cautions. And that's it. We're on lap 97, coming to 2/3 way through this race. And like I said, David Kokorian started first due to the invert. He's led the way the whole time, leading all 98 laps. Coming down on more lap traffic as that's Brian Helm coming up on. Back here to Keith Meneros and Logan Clampett battling for the 11th place. You got Jim Caudellis just behind them and Adam Bittenfield. Watch these guys do a little bit of battle as Meneros looks like he's getting into the turn just a little bit better than Logan. Logan's getting him off. Now that the track temperature is up as high as it is, up to 96 degrees, so it's kind of plateaued there at 96 degrees. It's, you know, you really know what you got here at this point. You're just trying to make it work. You see guys running different lines around here, and you have that option, thankfully, that you can run those different lines. Meadows gets into the back of Clampett a little bit, gets into him again. Clampett keeps it going straight. Gonna stack him up just a little bit. You're gonna see Caudill go down to the inside as it looks like that Meadows finally got into Clampett. Clampett gets turned around right in front of Connor Blaze. It looks like Blaze barely missed it there just a little bit. Go back and watch this on the SARA TV instant replay. We'll do a 37 look back. And see that Meadows gets into his bumper there once, twice, and 1 and 2. They're going down the back stretch. Get into 3. Meadows just punts him out of the way there just a little bit. Clampett tries to save it, overcorrects. Blaze, I don't know if Blaze got into him at all. If he did, it was very minor. And maybe just dented up the right front just a little bit, but very evasive driving on his part for not just being caught up in it as a whole. But some aggressive driving. We have our 3rd caution here tonight. If you're David Kokorian, it's not what you wanted to see as you're pulling away from the whole field, starting to put some guys a lap down. Now you got to do it all over again. You have to worry about someone getting into the back of you, as we just seen between Clampett and Meadows. Definitely going to shake things up here on the restart. You also have to worry about wheel spin. Being a short track and you have these really short gears in them, get up through the gears pretty quick. You may have some guys starting in 2nd, others in 3rd. You have to watch out for the wheel spin. That's where the leader does have the advantage. You know when you're going to go. Everyone else has to react to it. Sometimes you push down the loud pedal just a little too much, spin the wheels, stack everyone up, and cause a big wreck. Let's see what ends up happening there on the restart here in the next just couple of laps as we're pacing along here. Just joining us, missing a heck of a good race here. A lot of green flag laps. We're on lap 104 of 150 for the Salty Hookz 150 here at Stafford Motor Speedway, brought to you by SARA TV. Thanks for joining us here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, or like if you're watching on the Facebook page. You can go over to Sim Auto Racing Association on Facebook. see what we're all about, see our posts and everything up there. If you want to join the league, go ahead, go to racera.com. You can race with us on Monday nights if you want for the street stocks, fixed street stocks. It's only our fixed series that we've probably ever had on the dirt tracks. And a bunch of guys come out for that, heat racing and everything. It's fun there for the race1.us dirt night. Got the Callaway Investment Tour Modifieds on Tuesday night for open sets. Wednesday night, if you want to run the super late models, first you have to go to the Davis Chassis Works Contender Series. Down up there, if you run well there, run up front, run clean, win some races, you'll get invited up here to a Thursday night Sim Marketing Solutions Super Series where you can run with these top guys, see if you have what it takes. Come out here and run with these guys. It's not as easy as it looks. And see if it's what you got. But first, we got one to go. First, you have to go to the Davis Chassis Works Contender Series, and good luck there too, because we got a lot of fast guys that don't race here tonight just because they can't. But they're still fast there on Wednesday nights as well. So go to racera.com or Sim Model Racing Association on Facebook. Go check it out. On David Krikorian to bring the field back down to green. Once pace car gets all 4 tires off the racing surface, it'll be on him. See what he does. We're back to green, green, green. He gets off to a great start. Pulling a couple of links there on his teammate for Cody Kelly. Jimmy Mullis is going to go down in there into turn 3. Going to finally get it cleared from Tim Bills. Tim Bills is going to fall in behind Mullis. Get stacked up there into 3 just a little bit. These guys know that now is the time to go. If you're going to make your move and try to get up here into the top 3 or even for the win tonight, you got to do it while DK is right there in front of you. Like Bill Martin got stacked up there a little bit in 6th. These guys are double file there behind him about 6 rows deep, 7 rows deep. Sammy Roush gets loose. Looks like he got a little help from Canfield. He saves it. Rod Matthews and Bill Martin are still side by side. Ty Spearman there right inside of Dallas Pataska. And Spearman gets a little bit loose off the turn. He's going to lose about 4 or 5 spots in doing so. Able to keep it going in the right direction. You see Novak and Caldell down on the apron as Bill Martin finally gets around Matthews. Got Novak way down the inside. He almost clipped the grass getting into 1. Spearman is still loose out of 2, and he's about to wreck. Go back here to Ty Spearman and keep an eye on him. He is all over the place. We finally got our caution, and that's exactly what he needed before he was the caution. He had his hands full the inside of that 92 car. Like Logan Clampett got turned around here once again. We'll see what happens. Oh boy. Was it Medeiros that got into him once again? And Medeiros got into him there once again. Kryback comes in and gets a hold of Clampett there. Well, there's something going on between those two guys that they're not agreeing with real estate space. Clampett's car's dog walking big time where he got hit by Kryback, so he's probably going to be done for the night. He was our winner last week at USA, coming in here tonight. Having some bad luck. Some run in here with the 60 car of Keith Medeiros. Clampett's going to go ahead and pull it down pit road. Got a broken track bar and a few other things. That JDR Graphics Chevrolet Camaro. Now we do have 2 drop weeks here in the Sim Model Racing Association. So Logan's going to use that one, that's for sure. Tonight that's a drop week, and that's why we have them. Sometimes you run into some bad luck, and it also creates a great point battle as we get down to it. As we've seen last year, it came down to the last race between Joe Schaefer Jr. and Jimmy Mullis, with an outside chance of Jim Caldell coming away with it. But it was Joe Schaefer Jr. that came away with the championship last year. His 4th overall for the super late models. And I think he has 6 or 7 overall in the Sim Model Racing Association. It could be a little bit more than that, so if I'm shorting you, Joe, my apologies, but I don't know your stats. Feel free to educate me on it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. We're on lap 114 of 150. We'll do another restart here. That one was pretty wild. And everyone's going to have to bank on David Kikorian making a mistake here. They're wanting to get around him. I think the only one that may have something for him is his teammate Cody Kelly, but we've seen there in that longer run that DK just starts pulling away. And that could be just the experience that DK has with these cars and the build. I'm not 100% sure how much Cody has been racing the super late models. I just know he hasn't been racing with us as much, which is unfortunate because it's always a joy racing with both Kellys, with Cody and Casey. Casey's not out here tonight, but me and him have had some great side-by-side battles. It seems like we're always next to each other when we're racing. And we'll see if Cody is able to do anything here. We got one to go. Once again, it'll be on David Kikorian to bring him back to the green. Pace car gets all four off. We're on 116, 150, so we're getting down to it. Now's the time to go. What do you have? Do you have anything for David Kikorian? Can David Kikorian go ahead and lead every lap in dominating fashion here tonight? He's got one more restart at least that he has to get right to make sure that he's able to squeak away from these guys. No one can get to his rear bumper. We're back to green, green, green. He gets off to another great start. This time, Jimmy Mullis gets off to a better start. Side by side with him and Cody Kelly going down into turn 1 and 2 as they're doubled up throughout the rest of the field. Coming off of turn 2, they're still double foul coming down the backstretch. See some guys checking up there in the center as they're rolling the center. Pretty good. Looks like Kelly's going to finally get in front of Mullis. Mullis gives him a break. We even got into him there just a little bit in fear of actually turning Cody Kelly. We're single file first through fifth. Now Ryan Matthews and Bill Martin are battling side by side for the sixth spot. They're still side by side. Martin was able to make that outside work there a couple cautions prior. We'll see if he's still able to do it here now. Zach Novak, Jim Caudell Jr., Dallas Pataska, the 57 car. Caudell's in the 1, Novak's in the 15. Matthews pulls ahead here just a little bit. We'll see if Martin's able to get the drive out, carry the momentum. He's definitely willing it, a little bit loose. Out of 2, going down into 3 and 4, still side by side. No one's wanting to give up. There's one lap 120 of 150. 121 now of 150. Like Martin's going to finally pull ahead of him here. I'll have the momentum out of 4. Finally has it clear, but Matthews isn't going to give up yet. He's going to throw it down into turn 1, see if he can make it stick. Really got up and through the center pretty good. Up to the door of Martin. Fortunately, he killed his drive off. He's going to lose that position. Now he's got to fight Zach Novak. Novak's not going to waste any time. Went ahead and went around him like he was sitting still almost. That was an impressive pass by Zach Novak. He's going to set his sights on Bill Martin here now.
All right, man, caution.
We have another caution. Like Drew Kryback, he's facing the wrong direction. Go ahead and pull it up on the SARA TV Instant Replay. On the outside of Keith Medeiros here. Oh, and Drew oh man, huge lick. Like he's got a little bit looser, almost on top of the tire coming out of the turn 4. Maybe he just barely touched the outside wall and then got him all crossed up, ramped up the wall, and warped his car there a little bit. So tough break there for Drew. We'll have to go down pit road and get that damage assessed and get it taken care of. We got 25 to go. David Kikorian still your leader. That he's started on pole here tonight due to the 9-car invert. Ryan Doucette was actually your fastest qualifier here tonight, and he's currently P16, so it's not the night that he wanted. Fastest qualifier. We did have a 9-car invert. Currently for the head-to-head Heights Pride head-to-head throwdown, Dallas Pataska is beating Ryan Doucette, as it was row 4 that was chosen prior to qualifying. Those two guys still having to land there. And currently Pataska is P10, Doucette's P16, so he's got some work to do if he wants to win that. That's the state of David Krikorian's led every lap here so far. Hasn't put a wheel wrong. Not going to have another restart here. He's had phenomenal restarts so far. What's really helping him, I think, is having his teammate there on the outside of him. Really able to hold off Jimmy Mullis there just a little bit. He's able to pull away. Take what you can get at this point. Not at 1 to go yet, because iRacing pace laps take forever. Get 1 to go here. We'll go ahead and get doubled up, which hopefully is our last restart. We'll let these guys race it out here towards the end. They've put on a pretty good show here so far. iRacing Mustang turns out the lights. We're 1 to go. See what David Krikorian's able to do here on this restart. Is Cody Kelly able to keep up with him on the restart and give him a challenge, or is Jimmy Mullis going to go up and throw it in there into turn 1? Hopefully it sticks and get around Cody Kelly to set his sights on David Krikorian. We've got some great battles here for the top 10, actually throughout the Hookz racetrack. We'll set our sights on the leader, 66 car David Krikorian. Back to green, green, green. He gets off to a good start. Mullis gets off to a great start. He doesn't have him cleared yet, but he is further up on Cody Kelly than he has been so far. They go down in 3 and 4 side by side. Meanwhile, David Krikorian's already pulled out to almost a half-second lead. Yeah, these guys are still side by side. We see Tim Bills get a little bit loose coming out of 4. Bill Martin with some evasive action. Miss it. They're about to be 3 wide down the front stretch. Bill Martin's in the middle. Zach Novak's down low. Ryan Matthews on the outside. They get that figured out, thankfully, because that was not going to end well for someone. Novak's going to look down to the inside of Bill Martin here. Novak's up to P6. Got a fast piece. He's made his way all the way up through the field. He's up 11 spots. Started 18th here tonight, up to 7th. He's got a sight set on more. Novak's definitely got some speed here late. Had a poor qualifying run. If he started up a little bit further to the front, he may be talking about him leading the way. Martin bounces it off the wall a little bit. Now the toe in that camel car is facing every which direction. Right front's all beat up, left front's all beat up. Fortunately, Bill Martin's going the wrong direction. P8 here late in the race. He's got Adam Benefield all over his rear bumper. Ryan Matthews still trying to figure out how to get around him. David Krikorian's already out to about 0.8 of a second lead, so he's starting to pull away here once again. As Pataska there in the back there, P12, gets all sideways. As Matthews is sideways in front of him, he saves it. He is extremely loose. You got Doucette and Pataska 3 wide. Doucette finally lets out of it. Remember, these guys are fighting for the Hides Pride head-to-head throwdown prize money. So these guys, even though they're back here battling for 12th place, 12th, 13th, 14th, those two guys in particular have money to get after here just a little bit. We'll see if Doucette's able to find a way around him. They should be aware that they are a part of that. It's some hard, clean racing going on here. As AJ Rogers on the outside of Pataska. Rogers having a decent run here tonight, P13. Guys are still side by side. If you're Doucette, you're really hoping that Rogers gets around him so it can be you versus Dallas Pataska for this Hides Pride head-to-head throwdown. Said that Doucette had some work to do, and he's put in his work. Now, also, Dallas has came back here to him a little bit. Both of them have moved up 3 spots as they're side-by-side coming out of 2. We're on lap 138 of 150. We'll get up to the leader here in a little bit. He's still out to the 0.8 of a second lead. This is the best battle on the track, and it's for money. As they're pretty much tied at the line. Give it to Pataska for 13th there. Like I said, whoever finishes in front of each other here is going to come away with a little money in their pocket. You go to HidesPride.com. Check out their leather and sheepskin material stuff that they have there. You got some quality stuff. If you're needing belts or wallets or what have you, anything leather related. Oh, Spearman gets hooked into the right rear. There's no caution just yet between him and Canfield. Canfield's still going. Spearman's just, he stopped on the outside here. Can't come across the track here. We got a caution with 10 to go, so it's going to make things super exciting down here at the very end. Go back here and watch this on the SARA TV instant replays. We're going to be coming out at 2. Canfield's right there on the outside of Spearman, and he just hooks him. I think he just misjudges how close he was to Spearman into the wall. He had a little bit of room up there. Hook Ty Spearman, so it's an unfortunate break for Spearman and his Posse Ford Mustang. Instead of Salty Hookz, who's sponsoring here tonight. They need some of that sponsor money back to fix that Speedway model. It was a tough break. But what this does do is it brings us down. We're probably going to have about 6 or 7 laps to go. David Krikorian once more has to get off to a great restart. He does have his teammate in second. As Jimmy Mullis is in third, Tim Bills is fourth, and Joe Schaefer Jr. rounds out your top 5. David Krikorian, you need one more good restart. Don't worry about the guys in your mirror after that. You make 6 good laps. He'll be our winner here tonight. David Krikorian's led every lap. He's dominating fashion here tonight, so kudos to him. However, this ends up for a great night. For him and the Will and Dillon team as a whole, as they're 1, 2, and 4 in the top 5. Definitely got some things figured out here on this new build. They were figuring out late last year on the old build. I'm not too sure if some of that translated over or not for them, but they're definitely fast, so kudos to those guys. We're at 6 laps to go here now. We should be getting 1 to go, so we may just have 4 laps to go before this thing is all said and done. David Krikorian, who's usually runs well if there's an outside groove. Looks like he's been pretty much in the main groove or on the bottom, so it's a switch up for him. He's this league's Kyle Larson. If there's a top groove, he's going to go up to it. We are at 1 to go. We're going to have 4 laps to go when they come to the line. Is it going to be David Krikorian or his teammate Cody Kelly, or is Jimmy Mullins going to show his strength here once more? The Semi Racing Association and squeak away with the win. See what happens here. The restart is on. David Krikorian coming through 3, rolling through, and coming out of 4. We are green, green, green. David Krikorian gets off to a great start. So does Cody Kelly. Now it's going to allow Tim Bills to fight the outside of Jimmy Mullis. See if Bills has anything for Mullis. He doesn't. Mullis finally gets him cleared. Bills is going to look down to the inside. Get a little bump to Mullis. No harm there. David Krikorian is squeaking away just a little bit as we're at 3 to go. DK use up his stuff? Was Cody Kelly saving? We'll end up seeing, because right now Cody Kelly is staying with him just a little bit. Track temperature has gone down since we had some quick cautions there. And back down to 86 degrees where we started out. And that's when Cody Kelly was able to hang with David Krikorian. 2 laps to go. Going to be coming to the white flag. Oh, we got a caution. That's going to do it here tonight, as David Krikorian is going to come away with your win here tonight for the Salty Hookz 150. Looks like Joe Schaefer Jr. was caught up in that. We'll go back to the replay and see what happened. Got Zach Novak there behind him. Novak got loose. Checking up, he still gets under him. And then he just gets into the left rear of Schaefer and loops him around. Connor Blaze is back there flipping. Sammy Roush goes spinning down to the inside as he's got to start checking up for that wreck. So a wild ending there with those guys. And I know Joe's not going to be happy. Neither is anyone else involved in that. So it's a tough break there for those guys. But none of that's going to matter here right now, as David Krikorian comes away as your winner here tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway for the Salty Hookz 150. Second place was Cody Kelly, and third was Jimmy Mullis. So congratulations there to our top 3. We'll get our winners over here to speak with them here in just a moment, as let them get out of their cars and everything. Tim Bills, which was part of the Will and Dillon as well, finished in 4th. Jim Caldwell Jr. comes away with the top 5 finish here tonight, so congratulations to him, really, because he was struggling there for a little bit, so he found something there late and was able to, come away with a top 5 finish. Bill Martin was 6th, Zach Novak was 7th, Brandon Wilkinson 8th, Ryan Matthews 9th, and A.J. Rogers finally found a little bit of luck there go his way. Didn't get caught up in anyone's garbage and came away with a top 10 finish. We'll see if we can get a word with these guys. We'll let them get out of their cars. Like I said, they'll have to hop on over here, and we'll get a word with them. While they're doing that, let's go ahead and bring up the results. Go through those. You just heard me go through the top 10. Go to 11th was Ryan Doucette. Looks like he's going to come away as your Hides Pride head-to-head showdown winner here tonight. That's amazing that he was able to come back to 11th place and win that. Keith Medeiros is 12th. Dallas Pataska, a couple spots back there from Ryan Doucette, and ended up finishing 13th. He was the other guy in the Hides Pride head-to-head showdown. Trevor Edwards was 14th. Sammy Roush ended up finishing 15th. We seen him slide through our picture there at the end, so he was able to save that car and get it across the line. 19th was Connor Blaze. 16th was Connor Blaze in the 19 car. 17th was Chris Canfield. 18th was Matt Rolfe. 19th, Brian Helm, and 20th was Joe Schaefer Jr. You've seen get a little help there out of turn 4 from Novak. 21st was the Wiley Vet. 22nd was Adam Bitterfield. 23rd was Drew Kryback. 24th was Kyle Souza. 25th was last week's winner and Logan Clampett. 26th was Tyler Breeding in the 25 car. 27th was Donald Clark. 28th, Tyler Brown. 29th, Colin Ullman. And 30th place was Michael Goddard. We'll go ahead and let's see if we can speak with our race winner here first. We'll get him in here to talk about his victory here tonight. David Krikorian, thanks for joining us here. Congratulations on your win here tonight. You led every single lap. You got the pole due to the invert, and you came away with the win here at the Salty Hookz 150. Why don't you tell us a little bit how your night went and how everything else is expected, how you wanted to go?
Well, none of us, I think, kind of knew how the night was going to go because, I ran something completely different from what everyone else was running, and I only ran it just because it was getting through the corner way better than the other one. And luckily, I was kind of hoping it would turn out like Martinsville or come in after 30 laps, and it did. And thankfully, it turned through the center so good that I could get it to cut to the apron at 3 and 4 and get a good exit.
Yeah, we noticed you starting to do that. We rode on board with Cody, with your teammate there, for just a little bit as he is behind you, and then started noticing you really getting on the apron in 3 and 4 mainly, and driving off and starting to pull away a little bit. Once you were able to do that, was there anything in 1 and 2 that you can do the same way, or was it just mainly in 3 and 4?
It was mainly in 3 and 4. It could kind of work in 1 and 2 if the car was a little more set up for it. But the exit of turn 2 had enough grip that you could kind of run the normal line still.
Well, like I said, you led every lap here tonight, so you pulled away from pretty much the pack. They're on that long green flag run, starting to put some couple of guys lap down. You nailed the restarts all night tonight, and you're able to come away with the victory here tonight, which puts you in a good place for the points. Going forward, you ran strong here. Will and Dylan ran strong here tonight, finishing first, second, and fourth out of the top five. So it looks like you are going to be strong in the future races coming up. So congratulations on your win here tonight. And before we let you go, is there any thanks or shout outs you would like to give?
Shout out to all the boys at Wheeling and Dealing. This is based off a setup from last season. We've struggled real bad last season, so at least it looks like right now all the work we put in last season is starting to pay off a little bit. See what happens the rest of the season.
All right, but we'll definitely keep an eye out for you. And congratulations on your big win here tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway. And we'll see you next week.
No, thank you.
All right, but that was DK David Kokorian come away with the victory here tonight. We'll go ahead and bring in his teammate here and Cody Kelly. Like I said, he's finally showed back up here with us to race with us on Thursday nights. Cody, congratulations on your second place victory here. Your teammate beat you. He looks like he was just a little bit faster. And what were you lacking there that you needed to stay with him or to get around him?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been here. Yeah, DK, I guess he was just a little bit freer to me, and he can get around the corner a little bit better. He was believe it or not, he was on a different setup than I was, and he was a little bit freer to me, and I think I was a little bit tight, and that's where he was beating me up.
Yeah, we were riding on board there with you for a few laps, and I was telling DK this just a moment ago. We were riding on board there with you, and you were hanging with him, and it seemed like he started to get on the apron in 3 and 4 just a little bit and drive off. And he pulled away from you there on that long run, but you're able to hold off Jimmy Mullis multiple times on restarts there. So the Will and Dylan crew, whether you're running one set or the other, you'll definitely have something figured out as you'll finish first, second, and fourth here tonight. So congratulations on that. And why don't you tell us a little bit about the restarts there and what the challenges you had, being you had to start second there a few times.
Yeah, on the outside, I was pretty safe on the outside because Jimmy, he was real tight. He said, and it's real hard to pass somebody in the inside, especially when you can't slide up to the outside wall, and it's hard to hold your car down and keep the same speed up and pass somebody on the inside. So I felt pretty safe on the inside as long as somebody didn't slide up into me. But yeah, I was pretty good on the outside too.
Yeah, you definitely stout here tonight, and congratulations on your second place finish here. Before we get you on your way, is there any thanks or shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Russell Brown and Donald Clark. They hooked me up with a setup earlier today, and made a few adjustments on it and got it working pretty good. I want to give a shout out to them and Tim Bills and DK, everybody that's been helping this week. Hopefully, I'll be back soon.
Yeah, bud. Hopefully you come back with us and race with us throughout the season, and hopefully we catch you next week.
Yep, thank you, man.
All right, bud. There's Cody Kelly coming away in second place here tonight. Like I said, he joined us back here once more. He's on a small hiatus. Came back and finished second. Strong run here tonight. We'll go ahead and speak with Jimmy Mullis here. Jimmy, a good run here tonight, finishing third. Didn't have enough just to get around Cody there. Seems like you two were battling out after every restart, and he just barely would edge you out. So what were you lacking there throughout the whole race so that you couldn't make your way up to second or even potentially first?
It felt like there at the end I was just really lacking rotation, but like throughout the race, on that super long green flag run, I was pretty loose. So, I thought if we got some yellows, I might be able to do something, and then we get yellows, and I started plowing. So, just being on the bottom kind of sucked. Couldn't really do anything with them. I tried, but they were really strong. So, not really much I could do.
Yeah, passing down low here is a challenge. That is for sure. And of course, that's where you were there on those restarts. But you come away with a good race here tonight. Next week, not 100% sure where we are next week, but next week you come into it. You all were strong. You were strong last week with you and Joe and Jim, and here you are strong once again, even with the new build. So going into next week, you think you can put together another top 3 performance?
I sure hope so. It's nice to have a second at USA to start the season, and then third tonight. It's just good points, so Definitely a good start. I think we'll have something good because we had something pretty good last build. I don't know how that stuff's going to transfer though, because I ran something from like, what was it, 2 builds ago when we were here, and like I just made sure it got around the track okay, and Clamp ran it in the contender race last night, and it was pretty good. So that's what we raced on tonight. I didn't really, try too much stuff. So we'll see next week. Probably going to start from what we had last build though.
Yeah, next week's at Southern National Motorsports Park, so I guarantee you will be stout there. Before we get you on your way or anything, is there anything or shout-outs you would like to give?
Yeah, of course. As always, got to thank JDR Graphics and JD Laird for the awesome paint scheme. This thing looks really, really good. Excited to run it in N-Pass next year, most likely. Also, thanks to Lockdown Racing and the association for all they do with the setups and everything. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely, bud. It's your car does look good. Car looks good each and every week. One of the best looking rides out there. And congratulations here once again on your 3rd place finish. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, bud. That was Jimmy Mullis. Like I said, there's your top 3 drivers here tonight. And put on a heck of a show. Like I said, next week we're at Southern National Motorsports Park night race for the Canfield Auto Body 150. And there's some guys that usually run really well there, like Joe Schaefer Jr. and Jimmy Mullis and David Kikorian. So some of these guys you see running up front here, those guys usually run well there as well. So you have to come out next week, October 4th, on SARA TV to come watch that race. Go ahead and bring up the results here once more. Show you your top 10 guys. The David Kikorian, Cody Kelly, and Jimmy Mullis are on your boxes there for the podium. Tim Bills was 4th. Jim Caudell Jr. 5th. Bill Martin 6th. Zach Novak 7th. Brendan Wilkinson 8th. Ryan Matthews 9th. And A.J. Rogers rounds out your top 10 here. Go ahead and bring up our series sponsors. Give these guys one last shout out because, like I said, without these guys, we cannot do what we do here at SARA TV or at the Sim Auto Racing Association. Got the Sim Marketing Solutions, who sponsors the tonight's series. H&H Sign Supply, who's been with Sim Auto Racing Association for quite some time now. You have Davis Chassis Works, who sponsors our Wednesday night Super Late Model Contender Series. Heinz Pride Leather and Sheepskin, which does the Heinz Pride head-to-head showdown each week for the Thursday night Sim Marketing Solutions Super Series. Midwest Power Source Inc., Callaway Investments, who sponsors our Modified Series on Tuesday nights. Race1.us, who sponsors our Dirt Night on Monday nights, which is presented by JB Trucking. Salty Hookz, thank you again, Ty, for sponsoring tonight's race here at Stafford Motor Speedway for the Salty Hookz 150. The Hub used sim racing giveaway. Harding Motorsports Supply, Canfield Auto Body, who's sponsoring next week's Southern National Motorsports 150 race. JB Trucking, and RBRC, the Russell Brown Race Cars. So thanks to those guys once again for sponsoring the series. And thank you all for joining us here tonight. Like I said, if you want to race with us, go to racesara.com or go to the Sim Auto Racing Association Facebook page. You can sign up there. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification button on the YouTube channel here, so that way you'll know exactly when we go live each and every week for the Sim Marketing Solutions Super Series. I'm your host tonight, Derek Robinson. Producers Clay Snyder. This is SARA TV. You all have a good night.